Hey horror fans, welcome back to Room 237, coming at you with one of the last Italian films I have, and this one is Night Train Murders, one of its many titles. Also released as Last Stop on the Night Train, Night Train Murders, The New House on the Left, which of course, Last House on Massacre Street, I think also had that title. Second House on the Left, I think it also had that too. Don't Ride on the Late Night Trains, Last House Part 2, and Xmas Massacre. Yeah, I was gonna save this till Christmas, or the month of December, like I'm gonna do with all my Christmas films. But then I figured, I'm already watching it, so, because I forgot this took place on Christmas. And yeah, this came out in 1975, directed by Aldo Ledo. Music by Ennio Morricone. Yeah, this movie is 100% Last House on the Left ripoff. Even the subtitle, you could tell yourself it's only a movie, but it won't help. Reference to the Last House on the Left subtitle. Even on here, there's also Torture Train, what it says on the back of here. Now, this essentially is very much Last House on the Left. It is two girls who are best friends. They are going from, I believe it's Germany to Italy, because one girl is German, the other one is Italian. They're going to the Italian girl's family to spend Christmas with them. And aboard the train, you have these two petty thugs, accompanied by this upper-class, older blonde woman, whom they meet on the train. She's just as fucked up as them. And they, pretty much make the girls endure a night full of lewd sexual acts, sadistic violence, and humiliation. I saw this years ago, back when I was getting into Italian films. I remember being very slow, which, rewatching it, it is. But it's a lot more graphic than I remember watching it before. Which I will get graphic in talking about this, so be warned. If stuff like Last House on the Left and I Spit on Your Grave makes you uncomfortable, I would stop watching now, and I would not recommend this to you. If not, keep pressing forward. I'm going to give spoilers, because, this review's probably not going to be a rant. But what do you expect with a movie like this? It's a rape revenge movie. You know what's going to happen. So yeah, the two crooks, they meet the girls on the train. They sort of act like creeps. Then they meet the blonde woman. One of them, this guy who's called Blackie. There's another one with curly hair. His name's Curly. He's a heroin addict, kind of like the son in Last House on the Left. He's kind of like the David Hess, only he's not the ringleader. The blonde woman kind of is. He tries to assault the blonde woman, then she seduces him, and they become a trio. They switch trains. They get on this really old train. They're pretty much the only passengers on it. The three make it into the compartment where the two girls are. They make the one guy, Blackie, and the girl, they make them watch them, do sexual stuff together. They keep taunting them, like, are you virgins? Tell me you're not a virgin. Tell me you've done it. The one guy, Curly, getting graphic now. He sort of taunts him with a knife. He makes one girl give him a hand job. Then, there's this one older guy sort of watching through a window. He's the only other passenger. You think he's watching so he can see what's going on so he can help. but they pull him in and they make him rape the other girl. They go to rape the one that Curly was into. She's a virgin, so it's a little difficult. He goes to use his knife on her. He didn't really mean to, but the blonde woman just takes his arm and jabs the knife into her. Next scene is daytime. They actually, the camera pans down and shows the handle of the knife sticking out of her. She dies. Then the other girl, naked from the waist down, escapes the compartment. She tries jumping out of the window of a train from the bathroom, but of course, she doesn't make it, lands on a bunch of rocks. So they clean up, they throw the body of the other girl out the window, which they showed they throw it off a bridge. Throw all the luggage out. They get to the station where the girl's parents are meeting them. They're the only passengers. Which Curly, the heroin addict, he takes a tie and wears it even though he's wearing a plaid. It's just tied around his neck, so he looks really goofy. Blackie actually attacks the blonde woman because she's the ringleader. She really is. Like, he sort of goes along with it. The Curly guy, he's a psychopath, but she is very sociopathic. She's very into the whole thing. He actually kicks her. He kicks her right in the knee and, cuts her knee open, saying, like, you dumb bitch, you got us in all this trouble. Well, the girl's dad is a doctor. It's like in Last House on the Left. They find out there's this woman that's been injured. It's Christmas, can't take her to a hospital, so they take the 3 criminals home. The mother recognizes the tie. They hear over the radio that the bodies were found. It's supposed to be on the same train. They say one of the girls' names. So that's when the dad decides to get revenge. Now, he goes after the blonde first, but she just rolls over and says, it was those two. I'm a victim as well. So the Curly guy's shooting up heroin. He takes like an IV thing, which has a glass IV jar. He takes it to the face, and then I guess the IV stand is like pointy. Stabs him in the crotch area. They just keep stabbing him and stabbing him. Eventually he dies. Blackie makes a run for it. The dad chases him down with a shotgun, shoots him a bunch of times. Long chase scene. And then, the worst part of the movie, well, not the worst, but this is the last shot of the film. Yeah. The cops are showing up. The woman lives. The ringleader lives. Now, it's been a long time since I've seen Last House on the Left, but the whole sexual torture and the rape seems to go on a lot longer. It seems to be a bit more graphic. Granted, Last House on the Left had, it was very gritty, had the music, it was more raw. This was just more prolonged. But the revenge was there. The revenge felt satisfactory. The revenge is literally the last less than 10 minutes of the movie. And it doesn't really feel just. I mean, he just gets shot a bunch of times. The other guy just gets beaten up and stabbed a few times. The woman doesn't get anything, which pisses me off. I mean, in some ways, I guess it's a better made... Well, I don't even really want to say that. It's been a while since I've seen Last House on the Left. But, I do know Last House on the Left is very slow. I do remember that. Taking a while for it to get into. But, the grittiness and the rawness of Last House, I do like that. The revenge is done way better. This just feels like a ripoff. I will say the rape and the torture is more prolonged and, from what I remember, a bit more graphic. But yeah, and the acting's terrible. The dubbing is not done well at all. The acting isn't that great. And of course, the fact that the woman who's the leader and instigator of everything lives is horseshit. I mean, the dad is looking at her while he's holding the shotgun, so maybe. But they didn't show it. Very downbeat, depressing ending. But yeah, not much more to say about it. I mean, overall, I'd probably say Last House is a much better movie. I just don't remember that much. Been a long time since I've seen it. This just, I mean, I don't really know. Don't really know what to say about it. It definitely feels like a ripoff. It most certainly is a ripoff. And the most disappointing thing was, if they're going to up the ante with the graphic stuff, you think they'd spend a little bit more time with the revenge to make it earned and to make it more satisfactory. Because really, that's what makes these rape revenge movies worth it. You show something horrific, you know, the revenge has to be equally or more horrific so it's more rewarding. This movie doesn't have that. I'd probably say the best thing about it is the song in the opening and the end credits, which is "A Flower Is All You Need" by Demi Roussos. Very pretty song. This was one of the earlier Italian films I saw. It was kind of this movie that showed sort of like the more horrific the subject matter, the prettier the music. Just that weird kind of juxtaposition that Italian films have. But yeah, Sleazoid Express says, disturbing, an exercise in graphic malevolence and sadism. More reprehensible than Last House on the Left, all movie guide. I mean, the trio of thugs, they were definitely more despicable. You definitely wanted to see them get it more than the trio here. Except for the blonde woman. Just because she was so into it and just there's no motive why. You don't think like she's not a criminal or anything. The other two guys, you know, leather jackets, they're criminals, petty thugs. You kind of go with it. But yeah, I mean, they definitely went graphic with the first part. The revenge just wasn't there, wasn't worth it. Last few minutes of the movie, I thought that was kind of poor. The movie didn't look terrible. In fact, there were some decent shots, like when they first start messing with the girls. There's like this shot of all three of them on the bench seat in the compartment, like this blue lighting, and it's kind of eerie, intimidating. Some shots of Curly up close where he's all like into it. You know, he made him look like a psycho. But the acting and the dubbing was fucking shit. And, yeah. Pretty much straight up ripoff. Store brand, Last House on the Left. I can't recommend it unless you want to see every Italian horror movie, every exploitation film, every video nasty, because this was on the list as well. Of course it was. Other than that, just stick with Last House on the Left. Grittier, better villains, better revenge. Just watch, and it's Wes Craven. Just watch Last House on the Left. There isn't much to this movie. I guess this ended up being a rant. It wasn't as bad or as slow as I remember it being, but still nothing all that special. So, for Room 237, that's Night Train Murders. Thank you.